I know Jeff, the singer from a previous band, Comfort for Change, that I played with probably for a couple years. Every band that I've been in, I've kind of found out about them or became friends with them through a previous band.
Okay.
So it all starts with my very first band. My knowledge of that is that they were all big fans of Halo, and for anyone that doesn't play Halo, I'm sorry you're missing out, but a killing spree is where you kill 5 people in a row without dying. And like the guy, like the little announcer will be like, killing spree, whenever you do that. So they were like, that's a cool name for a band. That was before my time, I had nothing to do with it, but I dig it. I was about 9, and the reason I started playing is because my dad wanted me to play an instrument. He was very adamant about that, and up until then I had played piano, and I wasn't really feeling it. And so one day I was like, hey, can I play drums? Would that be cool? And he thought that to mean that I wanted to play drums and piano at the same time, so he was like, yeah, go ahead, that's fine, you know, I'll pay for your lessons or whatever you want to do. And I was like, all right, but I wasn't like strong enough to like stand up and be like, no, I don't want to play piano, I just want to play drums. So I ended up playing piano for another couple years, and I did both. I actually taught myself guitar over the last few years. I would not consider myself a guitarist, but I can hold my own. Playing piano definitely taught me chords and notes and scales and anything else that would apply. So I've kind of learned from that. I would have to say my favorite drummer of all time would be Tim Alexander, who was the original drummer of Primus. And why would be because he is very, very creative, not afraid to use different parts of the set, very random parts of the set, really cool grooves, excellent hi-hat and double bass work. And then, let's see, John Bonham, because he was the man. Anyone who's in a band nowadays that's anything remotely near metal or hard rock probably owes John Bonham something. I don't know what. 3 would have to be Gene Hoglan, who was in Death. He was in Strapping Young Lad. Last I heard, he was in Fear Factory. But personally, I think he's wasting his time with them because he's a ridiculously good drummer and they don't really need it. Let's see, 4 would probably be Sean Reinert, who was also in Death. He was in a band called Cynic, very cool technical death metal back in the early 90s, and then I guess they were reunited in the last few years. He was more of a jazz drummer who played metal, which was not something that you heard a lot of. And then 5, no, I don't think I'm the top 5. That's a toss-up. I mean, there's a lot of names I could throw in there, like Mike Portnoy or Neil Peart or even Billy Cobham, Keith Moon. We'll just say like all those names collectively are number 5. Maybe a few others that I'm not thinking of right now. I would have to say my absolute favorite, and pretty much every time I play any kind of music, I really miss playing with them, is Fatal Pudding. My very first band, we were not afraid to do anything musically. A lot of odd time, a lot of stops and starts, different tempos, different genres within songs. just like really interesting stuff. We weren't trying to appeal to anyone. We didn't care really what the audience thought. We were just playing it for ourselves. I don't think I'll ever quit music totally. I would like to say that I'll keep doing music the rest of my life. As far as Killing Spree, they do have another drummer that's going to start back with them. It's actually their original drummer, so I wouldn't expect to join them again. We're parting on good terms. As far as other groups, yeah, I could see myself possibly doing that, but things with the job are kind of what's going to like determine that. We kind of threw this whole album together really, really fast. They didn't know I was going to be leaving until right around the time that I knew, which was, I want to say, early March. And we had some ideas. We had already written one or two of the songs that were on there, and we decided if I'm going to leave, it would be cool to actually finish a full album of originals. So it ended up being a 6-song EP. 5 new ones, and then we redid an old song. And a lot of the writing kind of just fell in our laps. It didn't seem to require a lot of work. I helped structure the songs. I didn't come to the table with any riffs or any vocal ideas or anything like that. But sometimes, like, they'd be writing different ideas, and it'd be like, well, how do we get to the next part? And I'd be like, well, let's do this. So I guess you could say I have some credit in the writing, but it's funny you ask me that, because I have no idea who we're playing with. I know Amon Amarth and like Rob Zombie, and I haven't even looked at the total list of bands that are playing. It's definitely up there. I mean, I feel like my musical resume, I've opened up for some pretty big names over the years. Like, I've played with Seven Dust, All That Remains, I mean, like Tantric, Weezer, Primus. There's a lot of like random national bands I've played with over the years that I'm pretty stoked to say, like, hey, I got to play on the same stage as them. But yeah, I think we're looking forward to it. The only thing with these types of shows as a local band is you're really like, you're not treated like one of the national bands even though you're playing there, so you don't get to like have full access to the backstage. You only get like half access. And we'll be lucky if we meet a few of the bands or a few random members, but it's not as cool as you would think. Like, it's not like everybody hangs out backstage. I don't have a problem with it, like some people might. I think there's some very talented female musicians out there in general. The problem I have with female musicians, and it's not even with them, it's the reaction that people give them. That, oh my god, like, it's a chick in a band, like, they must be a good band, like, and we're gonna follow them, and there's like this, like, only because there's a chick in the band is why people like them, and the music could be terrible, or the vocals could be terrible. And it's like, I don't care if it's a guy or a girl up there, I want to hear something good. And that's the only, like, the main issue that I've got, where it's like girls can get all this attention and just like flaunt it. And I don't know enough about them to say anything. I've seen pictures. We'll like cut it off there. As far as like singing though, like Lacuna Coil is probably one of my favorite bands out there, with a chick who actually sings melodically. Like, she's got a fantastic voice. And then like locally, Dylan Rowe is an amazing female vocalist. She is the best female vocalist around, hands down. Thank you very much for having me. I am stoked to be your first interviewee, and I hope one day both of our careers or all of our careers take us to the next level.